Even astronauts get hyped for a little pizza in space.
In 2017, astronauts and cosmonauts aboard the ISS made pizzas and filmed it for the rest of us down on Earth to enjoy. With zero gravity in effect, they tethered their items down while they slung pies and used ingredients that would stick well to the special crumb-minimizing crust.
NASA wants to use astronaut waste to make new food.
As you may know, astronauts aboard the ISS drink recycled urine in lieu of bringing pallets of lacquer aboard the station. You know how fast that stuff goes. And since this seems to be working, NASA is looking into other forms of turning astronaut waste into a meal. Researchers at Penn State are attempting to turn astronaut fecal matter into edible meals. So far, the researchers have been able to break down the waste with microbes that mimic anaerobic digestion. This kind of function works like our own digestive tracts and most importantly doesn't use oxygen. Team leader and Penn State Professor Christopher House claims that the end result was a little strange and compared the edible material to Marmite or Vegemite.
John Glenn's first meal in space was disgusting.
Folks, it hasn't always been great to go to space. Sure, the magnificence of looking at Earth from above and the peace and quiet of the stars was always there. The catering used to be terrible. When John Glenn was first sent to space in 1962, scientists weren't even sure if our bodies worked the same once we were in space. Glenn's first meal, a tube of applesauce and some sugar tablets. Yum. After Glenn proved that our bodies handle nutrients the same way in space as they do on Earth, NASA began working on the most basic of recipes for astronauts. Most of the early meals were pureed like the tube of beef and vegetables that Glenn would later enjoy. But by the 70s, astronauts were digging into freeze-dried meals.
One day, astronauts may be able to print their food.
One solution for feeding astronauts on long-term missions is the possibility of 3D printing their food. In 2013, Austin, Texas-based company Systems and Materials Research Consultancy was awarded Zero to research exactly how practical it would be to send astronauts into space with a 3D printer specifically meant for food. It would make things incredibly easy if astronauts could just jettison off to Mars with the ability to print their own food rather than have to pack food for a 5-year trip that may not maintain its nutritional value for the entire time. According to engine contractor, a senior mechanical engineer at SMRC, they are approaching the different components of a meal as if they were different colors in a print pouch. He said, the way we are working on it is all the carbs, proteins, and macro and micronutrients are in powder form. We take moisture out, and in that form it will last maybe 30 years.
Canned foods are a no-go in space.
If weight distribution wasn't an issue in space, then canned goods would be the way to go with sending astronauts on long-range missions. Non-perishable items can last for incredibly long periods of time, and while they may seem like an answer to NASA's problem with missions to Mars, they actually create a bigger issue. Weight and space are a major issue with food in manned aircraft. Foods that make it into space are packed in sterile containers that can be stacked and that doesn't need to be heated, whereas canned foods take up way more space than packs, and the astronauts would have to have a microwave to cook the meals. One day, astronauts may be able to enjoy spaghetti OS, but not today.
Vitamin pills are not the way of the future.
In the Jetsons' vision of the future, We live in a world where you can get an entire steak dinner in pill form. But according to researchers for NASA, giving astronauts a supplement instead of a meal isn't a perfect solution for keeping them healthy. NASA research has shown that the nutrients in vitamins disappear much quicker than they do in foods, so that makes the supplement future a no-go. At the moment, there's no solution for stocking a craft that can travel to Mars with food or supplements, so NASA has a long way to go before they figure out how to actually feed their astronauts. Of course, there's always Soylent, but the bland repetition of life in space combined with the bland mundanity of consuming Soylent at every meal would probably affect an astronaut's morale to a negative extreme.
Proper coffee is finally served in space.
Prior to 2015, astronauts in space had to endure drinking freeze-dried coffee from a bag with a straw, and many of them said they missed coffee the most. But SpaceX delivered a microgravity espresso machine that was specially designed by an Italian engineering firm in cooperation with the Italian Space Agency and coffee giant Lavazza. Then, a zero-G coffee cup was also developed so that astronauts wouldn't have to drink their fresh espresso out of a bag. The cup literally goes with the flow and collects the liquid in the lip of the cup. Physics and the properties of liquid and zero gravity do the rest.
The shelf life of food in space is minimal.
Michelle Perchinock, one of the culinary creatives behind developing and prepping food for astronauts in NASA's Institute of Food Technology, has noted that the hardest part of her job is creating foods that keep on a long mission. Everything she makes has to be able to last for at least a year without spoiling. And if the food is going to go to the ISS and back, then it needs to be good for at least 18 months. Unfortunately, at least 10 of the foods that astronauts eat lost their color, taste, and nutritional value in less than a year. She's currently working to try to find something that can last on a trip to Mars, which would take around 5 years. And she says that at that point NASA is only left with 7 items. At the moment, her goal is to find items that can not only keep their flavor for a long-term mission, but also find something that can hold onto its nutrients for the trip.
If you want good French fries, head to Jupiter.
It turns out that the French fries on Earth are garbage compared to the fries that we could be having if our gravity was heavier than currently is. Denser, more dense. How does gravity work? Anyway, food scientists are researching how to make French fries in space, and they've discovered that the key to a good crispy fry is a lot of gravity, but not too much. The researchers told Food Research International, a real journal, that the stronger the gravity, the more crispy the fry. Not only that, but a stronger gravity means that fries cook faster. They found that by using a gravity that's 3 times stronger than Earth's, essentially the gravity of Jupiter, that they were able to make amazing French fries. Anything stronger than that caused a loss of structural integrity in the fry.
Tortillas are an astronaut's best friend.
The through line for this list about food in space is the beauty of the tortilla. They are used in lieu of bread, and they are incredibly malleable when it comes to snacking. Sandra Magnus, a member of the crew of STS-119 Discovery, wrote a blog for NASA where she touted the importance of tortillas to an astronaut. She wrote that a tortilla is the vehicle with which to eat almost anything.
Food hacks aboard the ISS are ingenious.
Food hacks aboard the ISS are ingenious.
Astronauts get to make food requests.
Astronauts get to make food requests. Astronauts are experimenting with growing their own food. A sandwich in space is nothing like a sandwich on Earth.
Modern astronauts are spoiled by variety.
Modern astronauts are spoiled by variety.
Gravity alters the cooking process.
Gravity alters the cooking process.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video then. Take care. Bye.